Hello, Dr. Hyder. My name is Andrew Riles, and my presentation today is on the socio-economic effects of genetically modified organisms in agriculture. A genetically modified organism, or GMO for short, is defined as any organism whose genetic material has been altered using genetic engineering techniques. My thesis for this research project is that genetically modified organisms are an important development to food security and agricultural sustainability, but it is critical for regulatory agencies to remain transparent and unbiased to protect both the public and the environment. The use of GMOs has been a widely debated topic since the 1990s. While they can reduce the number of harmful pesticides used, as well as increase crop yields and food security, some argue they can also be harmful in many ways. The first GMO crop that became commercially available was the Flavor Saver, a tomato that was genetically modified to slow down the ripening process. It was modified by adding a gene that produced an antisense RNA molecule that interfered with the enzyme responsible for the softening of the tomato. The development of GMOs in agriculture has had a significant impact on farmers' ability to increase production through a variety of methods. GMOs allow farmers to increase their yields by altering the genetic structure of plants to face the challenges associated with large-scale agriculture. These crops can be manipulated to increase an organism's nutritional value. Another advantage of GMO agriculture in terms of increased production is the ability to create crops that are resistant to chemicals for pest control. The ability to have pest-resistant crops and greater nutritional values is a big breakthrough for areas that are deprived of food security. One of the biggest environmental concerns associated with the use of GMOs is the potential harm to biodiversity. When farmers use crops resistant to herbicides and pesticides, insect populations beneficial to the natural ecosystem are coincidentally harmed. A study found that the use of glyphosate-tolerant corn was directly responsible for a decrease in monarch butterfly populations in the Midwest. Another consequence of the use of GMOs is gene contamination with organic organisms. This can create both environmental and economic problems for farmers who use traditional agricultural practices. When GMO seeds are dispersed into the environment, they can create poorly adapted hybrid organisms. A major concern for organic farmers is when this takes place, they become susceptible to adverse legal action from the patent holders of these GMO seeds. And although this is unethical, these large corporations have many legal resources at their disposal, and they've been known to take aggressive legal action to protect their intellectual property. Aside from gene contamination, there are many other socioeconomic challenges small-scale organic and indigenous farmers face due to the corporate domination of modern agribusiness. The corporations responsible for the development of GMOs operate in a similar fashion to the large superstore chains that we learned about in the beginning of the course. They dominate the market with their large-scale farming techniques, and that gives them a significant advantage when pricing their goods. Since GMOs have taken over most of the available food supply, those in poverty typically cannot afford the luxury of purchasing organic foods, which in turn decreases demand for traditional farming methods. While GMOs provide great financial incentives to those who stand to gain from their cultivation, it's important to realize the potential harmful effects on the general population. Since they are a new development, it's still difficult to know the potential long-term health risks associated with their consumption. Some researchers have raised concerns about the risk of chronic diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It's also possible that the wide-scale use of GMOs could lead to a rise in antibiotic resistance and allergic reactions. GMOs are subject to extensive testing and analysis before being released commercially by the Food and Drug Administration. However, it's important to consider that the FDA and other government agencies responsible for the regulation of GMOs are often criticized for being biased towards economic and political pressures. In conclusion, the GMO debate is a controversial and complex topic in agriculture that will continue to evolve. There are important advantages that should not be overlooked concerning increased food security and agricultural sustainability. There are also many environmental, ethical, and human health concerns that need to be taken seriously. Moving forward, it will be critical for government agencies and corporations to remain transparent and honest with their findings. Profits are often prioritized over ethics, but the potential harm could lead to devastating impacts on the planet, which will handicap the corporation's ability to remain sustainable. It's important for the public to become educated on this issue and to hold these entities accountable. Some actions that ordinary people can take include educating themselves on the issue, supporting organic agriculture, and advocating for policy changes via voting. Thank you.